Oh, like we're alive. We're back. I know. Can you believe it? I know. Well, you guys, we're finally back. We were not for a while because I got all freaked out because school started and it was like getting hit by a truck and it hurt. So we took a little break while I figured out what was happening. So I now kind of know what's happening, but not really. But that's okay. So anyway, we're back and we are going to be talking about important stuff today. It's Halloween.
I know, right? I'm a sexy kitty, can't you tell?
Yes, and I can tell you're a sexy kitty because if you're a female and if you enjoy Halloween, then you have to dress up as something sexy. So you're a sexy cat. I'm a sexy middle school teacher. Is that no? Okay, I didn't. Nah. All right. So, oh wait, we have comments already. It's Lisa Lee. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! There she is. And look, there's Lisa Lee right there. That's right, you guys. For the first time ever, the Brother Sisters has a live studio audience.
And we're not sleeping with either of them because sometimes Duncan's behind me, but I never show him.
I know, and sometimes Joe's in the other room doing whatever, and I don't show him either. I know. So yeah, it's a big day. It's Halloween. It is the day after my 50th birthday, and I'm still eating and drinking as if it's still my birthday because I'm celebrating the 8 days of Jenica. So, which is like Hanukkah, but for me and my birthday. And actually, I stole that from my friend Tom, who his birthday is somewhere around Hanukkah, and so he celebrates the 8 days of Hanukkah. So I'm totally stealing this from you, Tom, and I'm not sorry. So, oh look, we have Laura Livermore is with us, and she says, Janice, your costume is scary. That's right, it is scary. I'm terrifying. Look, speaking of Joe, he just walked in the door.
What the hell do you want?
There he is. Yes, that's right. We're full Halloween regalia. Right now, Joe is dressed up as a. What just happened? Are we still there? Oh, there we go.
You're still here.
Is dressed up as a sexy challenge course director. Yes.
Awesome.
That made me uncomfortable.
I know, me too.
The good news is we also have documentation of Ann's husband, Duncan, who, like I said, in order to, stick with the theme of sexy whatever. I got to put my brand on there. Hang on. Banners. Wait, where did it go? Oh, there he is. Duncan decided to dress up. He's for those of you that don't know Duncan, he is
whoa. Duncan didn't decide to do anything.
Duncan said he didn't decide to do anything.
Anyway, Duncan decided to dress up as a sexy brewer. There he is, sexy brewer. Duncan Williams.
Fuzzy Gut and Daisy Duke.
That's right. Look at it, man. He's got his tiny t-shirt on.
Sorry.
He's so sexy.
I am so sorry. You guys had to see that.
I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy. Oh, it hurts.
That's right, because if you're an adult in America, you have to dress up as something sexy for Halloween. Not clever. Just put on some sort of slutty brewer's costume, and you're Duncan the slutty brewer. So, I still think, Duncan, I still wanted to see more of your hairy stomach. Joe thinks you should have knotted the shirt up and shown your midriff. And honestly,
that's what I wanted, but this is as much as I could get. It was like, and he insisted on wearing underwear so you don't see any brain or anything down there. No
butt cheek hanging out the bottom.
No butt cheek.
Like I said, I believe that was a missed opportunity. But Duncan, you're still a good person. It being, what did he say?
He said thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, so it's Halloween, and now where we are located here on 35 South, we don't really get any trick-or-treaters because it's a busy highway and everybody zooms. They go into town and do the downtown thing. So we don't really get any trick-or-treaters, but do you guys get trick-or-treaters where you are? Because you're on a busy highway too.
We're on a pretty busy road, kind of in the country. When we lived in Ipsy, we used to get tons of kids, and I used to do the big candy bars, because I thought that was because I loved getting the big candy bars, and it was very few and far between when we were growing up. So I always got the big ones, but we don't really get any trick-or-treaters here, so.
Too bad. Yeah,
too bad.
I think
too bad for them.
some year I'm just gonna buy like like you can get those oversized candy bars like on the interwebs. I want to get like a whole stack of those one year and just be like, here you go, kid.
Don't kill yourself.
Don't kill yourself. Don't give yourself diabetes. So So yeah, it's been very interesting with COVID this year, kind of listening to people talk about their Halloween plans. But to me, it's like, this is a perfect time to test your throwing arm. I'm like, man, just throw the candy at the kids. I love that idea.
Me too. Oh, my eye. Oh, yay, it's a Snickers.
I'm like, oh. So like, this will be worth it. It's a full-size Snickers.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So we got to talking about this earlier, and this is my favorite question of all time to ask on Halloween. So here you are, it's Halloween night, and you are trick-or-treating. It's your childhood. You get back from trick-or-treating. Mike and Cynthia would allow us to eat, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 pieces of candy as soon as we got home. What was the thing that you ate first? Go.
Whatever chocolate. So chocolate and name brands: Snickers, Milky Way, M&M's, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Like Three Musketeers was in the top 10, but definitely not a first night candy. No. Randy?
Snickers all the way.
Snickers all the way. Lisa?
Anything chocolate.
Anything chocolate.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I would tend to go with the chocolate. If I got a box of Dots, Dots has always been up there for me for candies. I like there's a textural thing to it. I like the way it sticks to my teeth. I like the way I can keep working on it hours later. It's just the candy that keeps on giving, in my opinion. So yeah, that was probably a good one for me. Oh, we've got a comment. Hey, if you are watching and you want to comment on this and talk about what was your first candy out of the bag, we would love to hear from you. Ooh, Livermore says homemade popcorn balls. Really? That was always okay, and this was back in the day when everybody was afraid they were going to get razor blades in their popcorn balls. So our mom never let us eat like the stuff like that. So apparently we were missing out. So yes, Laura. Yeah. Okay. Now on the other end of the spectrum, it's 2 weeks after Halloween. You're well into November. Your parents have snuck out a lot of the good chocolate because that's what they do. Let's be honest. Mm-hmm. And what's left in the bag? What's the absolute dregs? The desperation candy where you just need a sugar fix so badly that you're finally setting in for that. Go.
Anything coconut.
Almond Joy. Yeah. Which was no problem because mom, our mother loves Almond Joy, loves them. So she would usually.
And Bit-O-Honeys.
That's just old people candy.
I know.
I wonder if now that I'm 50, I'm going to start being like, I need to get the Werthers and the Bit-O-Honey.
I was going to say, I need some nice ribbon candy for the jar. Some ribbon candy.
Oh my God. That was such an Avis Brothers candy. She always had ribbon candy.
It's all one big clump of ribbon candy.
She would have that little, so she would have that little ceramic thing on the dry sink, and you would open it up and you would go for a piece of the ribbon candy and the whole wad would come out, Yeah. So anyway, all right. So what's at the bottom of your bag, Ann? What's at the end of the bag?
Bit-O-Honeys are at the bottom of my bag, and I'm not a big fan of Smarties. I mean, I liked the fact that they were little and came, individually, but I just couldn't stand. It was like eating vitamins. Ugh. So those are the two at the bottom of my bag.
See, I always liked Smarties because I liked the comedy, because then you could take them and put them in your mouth and make them look like they were a couple of your front teeth. Or you could do the gag where you put one in your mouth and pretend you'd slap me, and they're like, my tooth, and then you spit one out. Oh!
I just used to put them between my teeth. I'm like, is there something between my teeth?
Also, excellent comedy. Yeah, the things that you can do with candy was a great prop. Tic Tacs, I do that now all the time. I'll do it with my students. I'll put one in my mouth, like, okay, pretend to slap me, and they'll be, and then they're like, oh, Miss Brothers, you're insane. I'm like, I know. That's harder to do with a mask on, though. Teaching with a mask, that makes it much harder to do. So
yeah, comedy's hard in a mask.
Yes. All right. So, Randy, what's at the bottom of your candy bag 2 weeks after Halloween? Go.
Tootsie Rolls.
Oh, good one. Tootsie Rolls are not awesome. That's like desperation chocolate.
They're chocolate,
but they're not. They're not. Yeah. So, Lisa?
It's too much looking like poop. It looks too much like cat poop.
Yeah, definitely a Tootsie Roll, Bit-O-Honey, but those orange wrapped, whatever
wax.
They are.
The
waxy.
Yes.
Those are good.
Peanut
Oh,
butter?
I
what?
love those
Those
too.
are
I
good?
liked those too.
Aren't they like orange or brown?
All right.
No, orange or black.
They were orange or black. Yeah, and they
No.
came in the wax paper, and they were this glob of just it was like some sort of peanut butter taffy. So okay, Randy he's a believer, Anna's a believer in that, and I was like, good Lord, no. That was like, I don't think I ever. Yeah, those were very bottom. Yeah, so for me, it was same. It was Bit of Honey. It was those, and it was coconut, and what's the other one that I really hated?
Mary Jane.
Candy corns. Candy corn. Oh God,
I love candy corns. In fact, I have some of the candy corn flavored pumpkins here tonight.
Yes. I had a Kit Kat earlier. That was going to be my Halloween candy, but I ate it as soon as I got out of Menards because I went to Menards to buy some suet, and then I'm like, I wasn't going to buy anything, but then they had a whole humongous display of the chocolate mint Kit Kats, and I really like those, and it was a giant double pack, and I ate the whole thing.
Dang, I haven't had those yet.
I'm 50. Have you ever seen Sally O'Malley? The one, I'm 50. I can kick and stretch and kick. I'm 50. 50 years old. Molly Shannon on Saturday Night Live. Brilliant. Yeah, my friend Maria sent me, texted me those for 2 weeks straight as I was preparing for yesterday. So pretty good. Pretty darn good. Uh-huh.
Now you can plan your colonoscopy.
Wait. I have to show you this. Dude, it already came. I have an AARP card. Yeah. Do you guys take AARP?
That's right.
Wait.
I get my 10% discount at many major motels.
That's right.
It's okay. I'm a member of AARP.
It's okay. I'm AARP. Wait. Seriously, as soon as they started sending me the literature, I'm like, I will have that. So the first day, I'm like, what? I'm just gonna put it right there. We go, right there. Hi, I'm Janice Brothers, AARP member.
ARP. That's what you say before you die. ARP.
Wait, because you told me that if I'm having a heart attack to cough.
Exactly.
Okay, good. Oh, Laura Livermore. Okay. Laura Livermore is still with us. She says the butterscotch discs, 100% for your last second candy. Yeah, pretty much any hard candy was at the very bottom of the bag, and it was always, I don't get butterscotch candy. I don't get it.
Were the mints the kind that you'd get at a restaurant? I'm like, did you just collect these from a restaurant and hand them out, or have these been around since last Christmas?
Yes, they have been. Well, then I think about my grandmother's purse, Avis's giant purse that had, it was full. It was literally full of used Kleenexes and peppermints. So
yeah,
totally. Yes. Yes, I believe Avis would be very proud of my AARP card because she did. She handed that thing out like a gun.
Yeah,
she was like, power.
Yeah. AARP, give me my discount.
Yes. Well,
and I'm gonna take all the free creams and sugars in this restaurant as well. Anything on the table, all little packets of cream and sugar. Oh, you're out of cream and sugar in these. There's none. It's all in your purse.
Aunt Patty comes by and honestly, hey, you're in charge of the Domino's tonight.
Is that what's happening?
That's right. You're in charge of the app.
All right. Well, then, in case, I'm going to retire to another room, and I'm going to make the Domino.
Here, take this with you, Joe. So Joe and I have decided that Domino's literally has the greatest app ever, because you can literally do anything on this app, because you order everything, but then the app tells you Brittany has just put your pizza in the oven, Devin is just taking your pizza out of the oven, Jason is driving to your house, Jason is at your driveway, Jason is knocking at your door, and you're like, yeah, and then somebody the other day, I'm like, it would be perfect if you were a serial killer. I'm like, okay, Jason's coming to my door, I'm gonna kill him.
All right, my knife is just perfectly sharpened. Yay!
Yay. So yeah, no, it's crazy because they and they remember your order. So then they're like, last time you ordered this, we're going to suggest this time. And you should get the, what is it? They have the brownies with the cookie dough right in them. So, oh yeah.
Wow.
Good job, Domino's.
Upsell.
You're
Upsell.
upsell. Yeah, they're very good at that. And so, yeah, I don't know who made their app, but their app is superior to other apps. And frankly, there are not a lot of restaurant options in Dresser, Wisconsin. So, and there is literally now an army of Domino's drivers in this neck of the woods. So when this is all over, if it ever ends, Domino's and McDonald's will pretty much rule the world.
All restaurants will be Domino's and McDonald's.
Yes. So instead of, because what is it? Okay, in the movie Idiocracy, what is it? It's all No, it's all Carl's Jr.
Hardee's. It's Hardee's.
Hardee's. That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of Hardee's, it's going to be Domino's.
Carl's Jr. No, it's Carl's Jr.
It's Carl's Jr. It is. It's like Carl's Jr. What is it? What does they say?
Fuck you. I'm eating.
Fuck you. I'm eating. That's it. You know what, Ann? That's going to be the next movie we review.
I think so. It's on HBO. So.
Okay, then Idiocracy it is, because have you ever seen that movie?
Yes.
Okay, yes. And that's actually, it's actually very fitting too, because the election will be over, and then we can watch Camacho as president. So yeah.
Yeah. And Dream is like, oh, I wish he was our president. He seems
I know,
smarter.
right?
I know.
So great. Like, Camacho, I love you. All right. Oh, speaking of movies, we are in fact reviewing a movie. Now, I know the obvious choice would have been to do a horror movie because it's Halloween, but we've already talked about horror movies.
Exactly.
And so
Extensively.
Exactly. So we decided to go, and I got to thinking about this movie a couple weeks ago, and I have no idea why it popped into my head. And so the movie that we're going to be reviewing is going to be Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. Let me bring that into the stream. We're going to make that full screen. Oh, wait, are we going to make that full screen? Oh, you know what? I forgot to do this first. There we go. So this is an older movie. So this movie came out 23 years ago, which again unnerves me when I think about that, because I literally feel like that movie just came out like yesterday. I'm like, how is that possible? So, but it's funny, after rewatching this movie last weekend, I believe it is as great and relevant and intelligent as any movie I've seen recently. So.
It was in 1997. It was kind of this odd little film, and now I watch it and I think of all the films that like owe themselves to Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. So
yes.
That's
yes. So Anne, would you like to start us off by talking a little bit about Romy and Michelle's high school reunion?
I'd be happy to.
Okay.
Romy and Michelle. It is 1987, and best friends. Romy White, played by Mira Sorvino, and Michelle Weinberger, played by Lisa Kudrow, were the coolest and hippest girls at Sagebrush High in Tucson, Arizona. The only problem is that they're the only ones that knew that they were so cool and hip. But it's 10 years later, and now they are still best friends, and they are roommates living in Los Angeles, California, which was their dream, to go graduate from high school, go off to LA, and live the dream. So they are living the dream, or at least they thought they were living the dream, until their 10-year high school reunion invitation arrives. And then they start questioning their choices. Of course, only they can really answer those questions. And then hilarity ensues. So it's really very funny.
All right, I'm going to take a break because I have to let the cat out because Marla wants to go outside because it's her time. I'll be right back.
Okay. So anyway, how many of you have ever been to your high school reunion? Anybody here? Who here has been to a high school reunion?
I went to my 5-year and my 10-year, and after my 10-year, I decided never again.
I think I went to my 5-year and 10-year, and that was it.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't have to do this ever again. And the thing is,
I've never been to one.
Yeah, I it's interesting because and it's been so long since I've been to one, and I have to admit, I don't really remember that much about high school. I know I went, I played a lot of sports, and I was probably an asshole because.
Oh, you weren't. You really weren't, because I was, and I know you weren't.
So yeah, and I guess the thing is, well, we'll talk about this because there's some things that I love about this movie, and one of them was that, I saw this movie a couple years before I went to my 10-year reunion, and it was really seeing this movie and then going to my 10-year reunion was an interesting. We were like, this is interesting. All right, Aunt Brothers, you want to take us through the awesome reasons to watch Romy and Michelle's high school reunion?
There's lots of awesome reasons to watch this movie. First of all, Mira Sorvino and Lisa Kudrow are so very funny. And I'm sorry to say that Mira Sorvino isn't in more movies. She had this blackball. She what?
She got blackballed. So, okay, we're going to tell that story real quick because Mira Sorvino won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for Mighty Aphrodite in 1995. And then after Romy and Michelle's high school reunion disappeared. And it turns out the reason she disappeared is because Harvey Weinstein disappeared her. So you're starting to see her again. I can't remember what series she's on right now, but she's on one of the various, and so she's getting more work now, but she was part of this group of women that was just like, that was essentially blackballed by Harvey Weinstein, and that just shows you what kind of power he had in Hollywood, that SOB gave him so much. But that's
no
that's
kidding.
Why. Yeah,
because she should have been hilarious in movies for the last 23 years because she's really very funny. Yep. And then of course Janine Garofalo is also in this movie. And she is hilarious, very embittered. It's a girl buddy movie, and we are seeing more of these types of movies now. But in 1997, this was like revolutionary, practically.
Yeah, we didn't have movies for women.
Yeah. Well, there were movies for women. They were just serious movies, They were chick films.
The idea that women could be funny.
Yeah. It's a cat and the whole cast. I mean, basically it's a movie about women. And there's women, tons of women in it, and not just like one funny woman, but all of the women in it are so funny. I mean, even the bit characters are just like Toby. I mean, it just and the A group. I mean, they're all super funny. So it's a cast full of really funny women who do a great job with a very clever script.
Agreed.
What I liked about this movie is that there's no competition with women competing for some guy. That's not the premises of this movie. It's like, which is, I mean, we still have a hard time finding that. The soundtrack is, if you like the 80s music, it's a great soundtrack. And I thought they did a pretty good job of like picking songs from the 80s. When this came out in 1997, we all weren't nostalgic for the 80s yet. Now it's like everybody's like, oh my gosh, I love the 80s. But in 1997, we were still kind of like, oh my God, I can't believe I wore that. I looked like Madonna, or I had giant shoulder pads, So, when this movie came out, it was, but the soundtrack is very good. The costumes are awesome, of course. And not just like Romy and Michelle's costumes, but like whoever did the costumes did a really good job of thinking of all the characters and how their clothing reflects that. So it wasn't just about these, because the two main characters are really into fashion. So it wasn't just about their fashion choices, but the fashion choices across the spectrum. Really make quite a mark on this film. It's clever. It's a great commentary on the significance of high school. Jenny, that was your comment.
Yeah, I just I thought it was just, like I said, I can't even remember high school. I literally, I cannot. I mean, I remember pretty much liking it, but it really does bring to the fact that how insignificant your high school existence is, and yet you think it's so important at the time. It's just, it's awesome. Anyway, go ahead, keep going. Sorry.
No. And it's a great commentary on what a successful life is after high school and what that looks like. And we have in our heads, and I think, we have it in our heads because it's put into our heads, especially when you're in high school, that you have to get through high school, you have to graduate, and then you're going to go and live this amazing life. And what is the amazing life? And for them, Lisa Kudrow's character says, I didn't know that we weren't having, that high school was so bad because we were always having such a great time. We had so much fun. And so all they've done is the last 10 years of high school is continue to have so much fun together. And when it looks like, and it seems like, well, they're not successful. They still live in an apartment. that one of them has a crappy job, one of them doesn't have a job. I'm like, well, they don't seem like very successful people. But then you look at how much fun they're having, and the people who are successful and how miserable they are. So it does make you look at, do you want to, what do you want to do with your life? Do you want to live a life, or do you want to live your life? So
yeah, and that's one of the things that stuck with me, is this idea that we have this, when you're young, you think that you're going to arrive at adulthood and it's going to be this great thing and it's never going to change. And then you become an adult and you live this life, and there are the pressures that you deal with as an adult. And then you realize that you continue to evolve and change at 20, at 30, at 40, at 50. And that is, that's this misconception you have when you're a kid. So that, and that's what makes your 20s, I think, a really tumultuous time, is that there are these expectations. Well, I'm supposed to be graduating college, and now I'm supposed to get a job and be successful, and I'm supposed to get married, and I'm supposed to have kids, and I'm supposed to live. I'm supposed to have this checklist of things that I'm supposed to do to consider myself to be successful. And that's one of the things I love about this movie, is that they do address that idea, with the A group, when they get back, and here's the A group and they're all mommies, and it's like, well, apparently that's the thing that makes you successful. I'm like, is it? And that line that she says, Romy and Michelle come back in, they tell off the A group, and then, Christy's character makes some snide comment about their outfits. And then Lisa Luter, who's now the associate editor, says, actually they have these, their outfits are really cool. They're fun and spunky. Overall, they're not bad. And so, they have this back and forth about, this woman's a dried up career woman. We're all happily married. And then her comment is, okay, just keep telling yourself that. And you're just like, and again, that's, so yeah, I love it. I love, we've got some commentary. We have a couple of, I'm going to go back in time real quick. Monica, when we were talking about the whole Domino's app, Monica's with us from California. She said, we have DoorDash here, and it's always thought it would be a perfect serial killer job. Yes, it would, Monica. Here's Brooby with us. Oh, speaking of Brooby's going to be a special guest coming up with us. We're going to have Aaliyah Brooby on, because Brooby has found her talent in terms of making old furniture look fabulous. So she's coming. She's going to be on the show with us. Brooby says, I have never been to my high school reunion. I guess I was supposed to arrange it with another girl. I think she moved to Japan, and I didn't like high school. So yeah, you're like, screw that. I love it, Brooby. I love it. All right, so let's continue to move on here. Okay, so here are some reasons that you might not want to watch Romy and Michelle's high school reunion.
Okay, if you don't like cringeworthy humor, this may not be your movie, because there is a lot of times where you're just like, your shoulders are up to your ears and you're laughing, but you're like, oh my gosh, please don't.
Please stop saying that you invented Post-its. Please stop it.
Excuse me, do you have a businesswoman's lunch?
Because we're businesswomen. I love the fact that you included the picture of her when she pulls out the cell phone. She's like, does anybody need to make a call?
Because I thought that was one of the most cringeworthy moments.
Totally. You're just like, oh God, Romy, stop it. Stop it. Yeah.
So if you don't like that in your comedy, then this is probably not the film for you. Or perhaps you were in the A group in high school, and you are lame now, and this movie might trigger you to, question your existence. So
correct. That's what. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, and that's one of the things that I love about it, is that, here we have the A group in high school, and there they are at the 10-year reunion, still trying to be the A group. But they're not cool anymore, if they were ever cool in the first place. And I think that's that idea. And again, one of the reasons I like Lisa Luter's character is that she has broken from the A group and found her own life and her own happiness. And I just, and the thing is, I was not in the A group in high school. I was sort of I call myself a free agent as far as high school, but, and to me, that can be burdensome as well. The idea that you have to maintain this popularity or this image or whatever it was that they had in high school, that they still feel that they have to maintain that lie, even if that life doesn't fit them anymore. So, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, some of our favorite memorable lines from Romy and Michelle's high school reunion.
Well, my very, very favorite one is the first when Romy and Michelle are watching Pretty Women, which at the time the film was made, Pretty Woman was only like 5 years old, and
Right.
so they're like, oh, I just love, I've seen this movie like 37 times, and I never get tired of making fun of it. But then Michelle starts to have this like oh, it's sad, and then this music's sad, and then they finally let Julia Roberts finally gets to do some shopping, and she said, oh, I just get really happy when they finally let her shop,
It's fantastic.
And it's just like, I like, and I think that's why they in Pretty in Pink, or not Pretty in Pink, in Pretty Woman, that's why they had that scene, because they think like, oh, a lot of women will like this because they like to shop.
Because that's all women like to do. They just like to find rich men and shop. Yay!
Shop. So, and then of course what's her name?
Janine Garofalo's character.
Thank you. Janine Garofalo's character is Heather Mooney, who invents a cigarette, a quick burning cigarette, so you can smoke it between class. She's always, they talk about in this movie, like, who you tortured in high school, because everybody tortured somebody in high school. And her character, Heather Mooney, always tortured Toby. And Toby was super excited and super energetic and always wanted to had these great ideas. And she was always, oh, Toby, fuck off. Always saying that to Toby. So in the way that only Janine Garofalo can do it. So
let's see, and that's one of the so the first time we meet Heather Mooney and Toby, they're high school. It's this high school science fair, and Heather, Janine Garofalo's character Heather Mooney is totally in love with Sandy Frink, fellow nerd. And at one point, Toby's character, because she's on yearbook, and she runs up to take a picture of them, and Toby's like, Heather Mooney's like, Toby, fuck off. And it's so funny because Toby's like offended for a second, and then she's like, okay, but can I still get a picture of you first? And so she just rolls right through it. I'm like, because we all knew that person in high school that was so into yearbook, and this was the most important thing to them. And so, and what I love about Toby is all in. She's all in on all of it. And even at the reunion, she's still all in. All in.
She's the cheerleader for the high school. She's just like loving loving everybody.
She probably still works for the high school. So
again, another example in this movie where even the smallest characters are just developed and hilarious.
Correct.
Go ahead.
No, go you. No, you.
So once Romy and Michelle get their reunion invitations and start to question whether or not they're truly successful, they decide the only things they really need to be successful are great paying jobs and boyfriends. So Michelle has to go out and get a great job, and Romy's going to take care of getting them boyfriends, which is hilarious because she ends up at AA meetings and some MTV dating show where they tell her she's too old and should try out VH1. And at one point, this handsome man she's in this nightclub. This handsome man walks up to her in an Armani suit, and she learns that he's actually just a suit salesman. So to brush him off, she says, "Will you excuse me? I cut my foot from before, and my shoe is filling up with blood." And then she walks away, limping.
Limps away. That's hilarious. I'm like a suit salesman. Those guys make bank. That's all I know.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if they're working on commission and selling Armani suits. But anyway,
yes.
And then of course, the big controversy in this, instead of being about a man, the controversy is that they do not appreciate each other. Michelle and Romy don't appreciate each other's what they each bring to the relationship, and Michelle feels that Romy thinks that she's not very smart. And Michelle's like, well, I always let you have the ideas because you're not as pretty as I am. And she's like, and this really sets Romy off. And then Michelle says, well, I'm the Mary and you're the Rhoda. And so it becomes this big argument about who's the Mary in the Mary Tyler Moore Show and who's the best friend and sidekick Rhoda. And of course, that was even before my time. I mean, I remember like watching a few reruns of that when I was like very little, but I was more of an I Dream of Jeannie fan. So, but.
And I can totally relate to that because I've been the Rhoda pretty much my whole life, and I could never figure out why that was a problem because I always thought Rhoda was really funny.
Right.
Like all sidekicks, all sidekicks get the best lines and the best comedy. And so it's like, I really related to that really well because I'm like, yeah, Mary Tyler Moore was cool because I ended up becoming a fan of the Mary Tyler Moore Show when I was in college because it was on Channel 50 or one of the syndicated shows out of Detroit between classes. So I would come home and eat lunch and I would watch Magnum PI and the Mary Tyler Moore Show. I know, right? The things we do between classes. So, so anyway, I'm like, God, Rhoda's got all the best lines. Rhoda and Betty White had all the best lines in that show. So
very true. So true.
I included the last bit, which is my favorite sequence in the movie, which is very early in the movie when Romy and Michelle are getting ready to go out to the nightclub, and they're in a towel and they're looking through their closet, and Michelle says to Romy, "Did you lose weight?" And Romy says, "Actually, I've been trying out this new fat-free diet I developed. All I've had to eat in the past 6 days are gummy bears, jelly beans, and candy corns." And Michelle's response is, "God, I wish I had your discipline." I think that's fantastic. I'm like, yeah. Well, it's so funny because they're so obsessed with losing weight in this, but they're both just these hot women. So, and that's typical. That's typical to what we do to ourselves as women. So
exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
But it's a great film about women being friends with women, and not being frenemies, not competing, just being
just two women who love each other and are best friends and have had each other's back and know each other better than anybody else because they literally have known each other since they were kids, Yeah. And that's there's something to be said about people that know you that well. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. So it has this underlying sweetness to it, but it's so funny. And just if you want to see some really funny women in a tight script, also written by a woman. So it's just
tight script, cleverly filmed. Like that sequence where they're looking through the yearbook and you end up going into the yearbook is just so sharp, so sharp and so awesome where you get a quick, they do those scenes in flashback and they do it as if you're walking into the yearbook with them. And again, I absolutely love that. So
yeah.
Yep.
Somebody's at our door. Maybe if they're here to get candy, they're out of luck because I don't got nothing.
You know what? Give him some beer. Duncan's probably got plenty of beer in his tiny fridge.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys?
Well, hey, it's our neighbors from across the road.
Yay! Are they trick-or-treating? Just give him a beer. So, hey, let's go ahead and call it quits today. We got our live studio audience that we're going to entertain. But hey, you guys, I just wanted to tell everybody we are back. We probably won't be on as frequently, probably once a week, either Saturday or Sunday. And we still got to talk about coffee. We never talked about it. So let's plan on next weekend. Let's talk coffee.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say we should do that because we have stuff already set up. And I was really excited about what I found. So, and I really wanted to share it. And I've got Duncan drinking coffee now, so
high five yourself.
I
know. Okay, so when do you want to do coffee? You want to do it next Saturday or next Sunday?
I can do either day. I don't have plans. I don't have plans either day. So whatever one works for you. You have the more stressful job than I do. My thing is only worrying about getting and/or spreading COVID right now. So.
Well, I have to worry about that, and I have to worry about teaching America 50% of the time, and then I got to teach America the other 50% of the time.
Exactly.
Anyway,
so my job's a lot less stressful.
I know, right? Yeah, well. Hey, so anyway, plan on us coming back either next Saturday or next Sunday. We will let you know. We are talking about coffee, and Aaliyah Berube, we're going to bring you on as well to talk about your fantastic little business that you have started because your furniture is cool, and you're going to make two of my crappy looking tables look less crappy. This we know. I know, right? Because I can't do it. I don't have the talent. I don't have the way. Oh, I am going to learn how to knit though. So there. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Anyway, folks, thanks for joining us tonight as our welcome back tour begins. There's Ann eating those nasty candy corn pumpkin things.
I can feel it on my teeth.
Go brush your teeth. Go use your water pick. Get that out of your mouth.
Well,
Yeah. All right, Aunt Brothers. It's good to hang out with you again. All right.
you too.
Bye.
Bye, Randy. Bye, Lisa. Bye, Joe.
Peace. Bye.